Hey there people, it's your favorite WeedleTwineedle bringing you all another Sword and Shield VGC video. Featuring Jirachi continuing the many mythical VGC series to close out Sword and Shield. If you all do enjoy the narrated Sword and Shield Wi-Fi battle content and want to support the channel and want to do here on YouTube, please be sure to leave a like on the video, watch until the end of the video, and maybe share the video with a friend who might enjoy the content as well. Help grow the channel, it's very much appreciated. Big shoutouts to those who left a super thanks on my recent videos. It's a new feature YouTube added quite recently where you can show financial support to content creators you really enjoy. It's of course completely optional, but the extra support is very much appreciated. Like I mentioned, I am using Jirachi today, and I came up with a really fun Jirachi team that's definitely more heat than the Celebi team, but it's definitely not as viable because it's just a very gimmicky team. Jirachi, who's a mythical that I always wanted as a kid, and I actually managed to get my hands on it. It's the only mythical from the first 3 gens that I got my hands on until Gen 4. Because of Pokemon Channel, I actually got through all of that stuff and transferred it. I had the cable and everything, and I got my own Jirachi, and I loved it. I didn't even use it too much after I got to level 100. It just sat in my PC, but I was a happy ass child. So Jirachi is just has a special place in my heart. It's so cute. It's in a lot of movies. Who doesn't like Jirachi? Unless it's flinching you, then I understand if you don't like Jirachi, but otherwise, it's really cute. Now, Jirachi is not going to be flinching people down today, so don't worry about that. But the rest of my team, I do have Clefairy, because Clefairy and Jirachi are from outer space, so I figure using them together would be cute. And then we have Alolan Persian, because it's one of my favorite dark types, and it synergizes really well with Yveltal, and it's part of the combo that I created with this team. And then the last Pokemon, we have Kyogre and Groudon, because I figured Jirachi is from Gen 3. I might as well use the 2 Gen 3 restricted legendary Uber gods. And I also really like Groudon and Kyogre. I know Kyogre and Groudon are really broken, and they're not the most entertaining Pokemon to use, but I think I use them in a quite creative way on this team. So that is our team. Now looking at my opponent's team, my first opponent, Sophie, has Xerneas, Incineroar, Charizard, Grimmsnarl, Groudon, and Zacian. So overall, a very scary team considering that we are on the casual ladder. But without further ado, let's get into this first battle against Sophie. Alright, so we're up against Sophie, who has a pretty cute trainer card, I'm not gonna lie. It's nice and fiery. It's nice and hot and spicy, And speaking of fiery, we're actually in the Fire Stadium, so that's really cool. Actually, it's really hot. Speaking of hot, my opponent is up with Incineroar and Grimmsnarl if you're freaky. And I'm going to lead off with Persian and Jirachi, because this is the main combination. So my opponent's going to intimidate my Alolan Persian, and Alolan Persian is going to get into a cat fight and get a speed boost from the Rattled. That's going to happen quite a lot in this video, just a quick spoiler. So Jirachi's going to get intimidated, which kind of sucks if I was a physical Jirachi. I'm going to go for the fake out into Incineroar just so I can't go for fake out into my Jirachi, and the Grimmsnarl is just going to go for a light screen. That's actually okay with me because it means it's not going for a trick. So I'm going to go for the skill swap right here into my Alolan Persian because it's part of the strategy. I'm going to skill swap Rattle onto my Jirachi, and you can see where this is going. We're going to Dynamax immediately with our Jirachi. Now, the reason why I'm Dynamaxing immediately is because of a tech that I wanted to showcase later on in the video, but there's a big reason why I have to Dynamax Jirachi. Later on with the team, I decided to change it up, but you'll see what I mean later on in the video. I don't want to spoil you guys, so I'm going to Dynamax Jirachi here, and my opponent is going to go for a Reflect as well, maybe expecting me to be physical, and they just want to set up the screens. That's fine with me. I'm going to go for the Beat Up into my Jirachi, and of course, we're going to get a speed boost from the Rattled, and we're going to activate our weakness policy. So that is really good for our Jirachi. Now I'm going to speed through the rest of this beat up animation. It takes such a long time. I don't really like using beat up strategies because of this, but I figured beat up Rattled Jirachi, I figured y'all wouldn't mind. So we get a bunch of speed boosts, 4 speed boosts from the beat up, and we're going to go for a max Steel Spike into that Grimmsnarl. And we're able to one-shot it because we're actually a special attacking Jirachi. We're not some Iron Head flinching stuff. Jirachi does not do any flinching on this team. So that's good for us. Down goes the Grimmsnarl. We get a defense boost from the Max Steel Spike. And the Incineroar is going to go for a parting shot, surprisingly, into the Alolan Persian because the cats are fighting. You think that they would go for the Jirachi because it just got, a skill swap, and maybe they thought the Persian was a threat. And Persian actually is a big threat on this team, as you'll see, but it's not for doing damage. The Groudon's going to come in here and set up the Sun, which is kind of scary because that means another fire type's coming out, and you know what that means? It's going to be the, I forgot to cut this out, yes, the Charizard. So in comes Charizard, and you already know what the opponent's going to do. They're going to Dynamax their G-Max Charizard, and I'm scared of my Jirachi because Light Screen is up, and I'm not that strong on Jirachi, so I'm going to go for Max Guard to block the potential Max Flare. I figured that was my best call. I'm going to go for Fake Tears into the Charizard to lower its special defense quite a bit, just so, you know, I can hopefully kill it with Jirachi. We're going to block GMX Wildfire with the Max Guard, and the Groudon's going to go for the Precipice Blades, as we're also able to block that with Max Guard, and Persian should be able to tank one Precipice Blades, as we do tank it relatively well considering we don't have Fur Coat. Fur Coat is such a good ability on Persian, but Rattle makes for such fun meme combinations, and then Technician Beat-Up's also really fun. I just love Alolan Persian. It can be used in so many ways, and I just love it so much. So anyways, in comes Kyogre, and Kyogre's going to set up the Rain, and now I'm going to go for a Max Steel Spike into the Groudon just to get another defense boost, because after I set up the Rain, I shouldn't take too much damage from the Max Wildfire, unless it's like Life Orb Modest, but without Solar Power and Sun, it's pretty much like 1/3 the damage. Like, it's kind of crazy. So GX Wildfire into the Jirachi. I am Dynamax, so I take absolutely nothing, even though I have no special defense boost. That's just Jirachi being the GOAT. And even with Precipice Blades at +2 defense, we're able to take it really well. But the unfortunate thing is that the balanced GMAX Wildfire is going to chip down my poor Kyogre and my Jirachi. So we take 1/6 of our max HP for 4 turns, because GMAX Wildfire is so broken. Honestly, like, if it wasn't Charizard and Venusaur that had it, I wouldn't be too upset. Like, I like that Centiskorch has a move like that, because Centiskorch is bad, it needs it. But Charizard, it doesn't need that while it's Oko and your whole team, you know? So Incineroar is going to Intimidate and give us another speed boost off Rattled, so that's cool for our Jirachi. We actually do carry Stored Power on Jirachi, but I don't really get to use it too much in this video, unfortunately, because I have Baton Pass on my Jirachi. So this is a really funny tech, because when Jirachi inevitably can't do much in a restricted metagame, you can Baton Pass all those boosts out and bring in another restricted and get a bunch of speed and attack boosts. You can also beat up and Baton Pass if you really want to, but I also want to make Jirachi do work, of course, so I had a Dynamax Jirachi. Max Airstream is not going to kill us. I actually set up the Sun for my opponent. I actually choked by doing that, because I could have brought in Groudon on like a Wildfire and just lost the game, but they decided to target Kyogre because Kyogre is a pretty big threat to their team. I understand that much. And they actually go for Scald and activate their weakness policy. Their weakness policy Charizard. That is the most cursed thing I've ever seen in my fucking life. Like, why are you weakness policy Charizard? Oh, that is really scary, but it's okay because my Groudon, Kyogre goes down to the Wildfire because it's a balanced thing. It does 1/6 of your max HP. That's so insane to me. I'm going to bring back in my Jirachi here, but my Groudon is at +4 speed, so even after the Charizard's Airstream, I should be able to outspeed it. But unfortunately, my opponent just brought an Instant, and they can go for the Fake Out, so I'm going to go for Protect to block the potential Fake Out, which is exactly what they go for because they're afraid of my Groudon, which is understandable. And they're going to go for Blast Burn, and it's not going to hit my Groudon either. Though my Groudon actually has a 0 attack boost right now because of all the Intimidates, but I'm going to go for the Doom Desire with my Jirachi. We're going to choose our destiny. The Charizard is going to take more solar power damage, which is cool. And I'm just going to go for take more Wildfire damage. Yay, balance. Okay, I'm going to go for the Rock Slide into the Instant and Charizard. And Rock Slide will finish off the Charizard, even at neutral because it's not Charty Berry, and I think the Reflect wore off. Even if it didn't, it's still like Quad Peak. So gonna go for the Skill Swap. That's right, my last move is Skill Swap. So we can give Serene Grace to Groudon for the Rock Slide flinches, and we actually got a flinch on the Rock Slide before we got Serene Grace because it's only 30% because Jirachi Skill Swapped after the Rock Slide. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. Dwobblefett, correct me in the comments if you're watching, but I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. Anyway, or anyone else who wants to correct me, but Dwobblefett is the knowledgeable goddess that I go to for any questions I have about mechanics. But anyway, gonna go for the Skill Swap into the Incineroar because I figure this Jirachi's kind of useless at 0 boosts, and Doom Desire is already casted, so I'm going to go for the Skill Swap, and Skill Swap the Intimidate, lowering the Incineroar's attack and the Groudon's attack because it's currently a Groudon Ditto. And, yeah, the Incineroar's going to flinch, the Groudon's going to flinch, the Rock Slides are doing the work. Going to go for Doom Desire into Groudon. Look at how little damage that does, but you know what? Light Scream is up, and that might be a Slowfest Groudon, so you want to know what, Jirachi? You're forgiven for that. Rock Slide, once again, going to target into Groudon and Incineroar. Do we get a flinch this time? I don't know. I'll go for another Doom Desire, though, because why not, right? We get to open our eye. I love Jirachi. Jirachi's so cute. Rock Slide flinches the Incineroar, but Precipice Blades is going to go through, and unfortunately, this is where Jirachi's Reign of Terror will end, but Groudon is flinching for the Jirachi. I told you guys that Jirachi won't be doing the flinching. I didn't say that we weren't going to be flinching. I just said that Jirachi won't be doing the flinching, so yeah. Anyway, we're going to get a Citrus Berry with the Groudon. The Sunlight is going to fade, and now I think I bring in my Persian. Yeah, I bring in Persian because I can go for Fake Outs, and I actually do carry Foul Play. I actually switched around Foul Play with Body Slam because I figure with Serene Grace on the Alolan Persian, I can go for Body Slams. But, you know, I switched around the set a few times in this video, experimenting with a lot of stuff because this team is just meant for fun. You know, it's the end of Sword and Shield. You gotta have some fun. So yeah, Precipice Blade's gonna hit into my Persian. I actually go for Fake Out Protect because I want Doom Desire to end the game. That's why I did that play. I really want Doom Desire to actually just carry. So I'm gonna go for the Rock Slide into the Incineroar and Groudon, and we're going to finish off the Incineroar. And if we get the Rock Slide flinch, that's great. If we don't, it's fine as long as the Groudon doesn't crit me because I do have +2 defense. So we kill the Incineroar with Rock Slide, and they're gonna go for the Precipice Blades. We don't get the flinch on the Rock Slide, which is fine because our Groudon is much more masculine than their Groudon. Shoutouts to Sen for that Groudon art and my Halloween video. If you haven't seen my Halloween video, watch it, because even though it's not Halloween anymore, it's so heat. Anyway, we're able to defeat our opponent, Sophie, with Serene Grace, Groudon, and Jirachi. So hopefully you all enjoyed that battle. It was a good showcasing of this meme, but there's definitely more to come with this meme strat. Let's get to the next battle right here. So my next opponent actually has a pretty scary team for Jirachi. I don't really think I can bring the Jirachi gimmick in this battle, so I decided to showcase this battle just to show you all that this team isn't entirely reliant on gimmicks. You know, I can do other things like spam Ubers, which is what I do in this battle. My opponent's team is really scary. Like the Xerneas and Indeedee on their own are really scary because Jirachi can beat the Xerneas, but what's Jirachi gonna do versus Venusaur, Landorus, and Torkoal? Like, die, so we can't quite do that, unfortunately. But I do have a plan, so let's just get into this battle against Helen Olive. And her trainer card's cute. Wait, it's like Halloween themed because I had this battle on like the end of October. I don't remember exactly which day, but yeah, it's cool. Their trainer card's really cute. I really love trainer cards. I hope they have like similar like customization things for Scarlet and Violet, because I think that the trainer cards are one of like the best things they did in Sword and Shield. Unironically, I know it's not like a big deal, but it's just like such a nice touch to me. I don't know why, but yeah, they're gonna activate the Fairy Aura with Xerneas and Indeedee. Of course, they lead off with this lead. I led off with my Groudon and Clefairy to cover this because as much as I want to go for the Jirachi gimmick again, I can't quite skill swap when Indeedee's going for a lot of people will be scared. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go for the Helping Hand turn 1 with my Clefairy because you already know Indeedee's gonna go for the Follow Me. So I gotta go for Helping Hand because I don't want to be like this Indeedee bitch. Clefairy is not like her, okay? She is her own bitch. And the Xerneas is gonna go for the Geomancy because what a surprise. Follow Me Geomancy, the tried and true combo. If I didn't lead off with Groudon and Clefairy, like this would have been really ugly, so I had to cover for this lead. I'm really glad I led off with Clefairy and Groudon because with Precipice Blades, I can bypass the Follow Me. And with Helping Hand, it's going to do a butt ton of damage. I know it won't KO Xerneas or the Indeedee, but it'll do quite a bit of damage, and that's all I really want, just to deter the Xerneas from Dynamaxing. So we do a lot of damage to both the Pokemon, and now Xerneas won't Dynamax, or it could have, but it doesn't. Goes for Dazzling Gleam, and we're actually able to face tank it thanks to Friend Guard on the Clefairy, and Clefairy has Eviolite, so it just doesn't actually tank that much damage. Now we go for Precipice Blades, and we miss, and I'm like, oh, who did I miss? I can't read that language. And we actually hit Xerneas, so I'm like, yes! Go Groudon! Groudon is the VGC daddy of my channel, it's true. Or VGC Uber daddy, because Groudon just like carried us right there. And in the last battle, like this Groudon is doing crazy work. Even though we missed the Indeedee, we hit the Xerneas, and that's all that matters. And now we have Moonlight because it synergizes really well with Drought. If you're following away attacks, so you can go for Sword Stance. Obviously, you can go for Moonlight after if they target into Groudon and get a bunch of health back with Clefairy and keep it around for longer. I thought it was a cute tech, though we do have Kyogre on the team, so it could be bad, but I'm not going to be using, you know, Moonlight when Kyogre's on the field, so. Yeah, now they're going to Dynamax their Venusaur. What a surprise, you know, the Kanto starters once again. I like the Kanto starters, I just don't like the G-Max moves. Like, I actually like the Kanto starters. Okay, I don't like Venusaur going for Sleep Powder either, but like, you know, I don't mind it. It's the fact that they can do both. It's like so annoying. They're gonna go for the Vine Lash and just whip my ass, and we Protect, live at 69 through the Protect because, you know, that's what we do. And sadly, we're not Weakness Policy on the Groudon because we are Weakness Policy on the Jirachi, but, you know, Groudon's still chilling out here. And we're going to take some Vine Lash damage now, doing a lot of damage, and I'm like, okay, I'm actually going to conserve my Groudon for later on, because if I conserve Groudon, I can use it for Death Fodder and to reset weathers, and I just figure it would be nice for an extra sack. Now I'm going to bring Kyogre up the range just so Yveltal can outspeed the Venusaur quite easily, And I'm gonna go Dynamax my Yveltal because they Dynamax, so I have to Dynamax in retaliation because that's how Dynamax works, usually. Now they're gonna go for Helping Hand. I'm like, oh, that's scary. But they actually decided to go for the, oh, sorry, I go first. Right, I go for Airstream into the Indeedee and knock it out. I should have went for the Venusaur, to be honest. Why did I go for the Indeedee? I don't know, I'm stupid. But I think I did that just in case they went for Max Guard and switched out. I think it was like the right play, but it really wasn't the right play because now they go for a Helping Hand Max Quake. But, you know, it's a Max Quake, so we're able to easily tank it with our Kyogre. Even though it's Helping Hand boosted, it's an Assault Vest Kyogre, and that Venusaur doesn't have a Life Orb, so it's not doing that much damage, surprisingly. G-Max Venusaur relies on the Vine Lash damage to really do its, you know, to do its work, but Charizard is actually just one-shots you. I much prefer fighting the G-Max Venusaur than G-Max Charizard, but, you know, Venusaur can also put your whole team to sleep, and they're usually paired together, commonly, you know, so it's really annoying to fight them. So yeah, they're gonna bring in Zacian, and I'm like, oh, Zacian's ugly. I'm gonna switch out of my Kyogre and bring in my Groudon, and this is exactly why, because I wanted Groudon for late game, because I figured they probably carried Zacian, because, you know, Zacian, they have 2 restricteds, right? They only brought 1 restricted, surprisingly. They didn't bring the Groudon because they, you know, expected me to bring my Groudon, and that was fair. And Venusaur beats Groudon and Kyogre pretty well. So we're able to go for Max Flare and the Sun. We actually outspeed the Venusaur, surprisingly, even though it likely carries Chlorophyll. Maybe it has like very little speed investment, and Max Airstream Yveltal is able to just outspeed it. I'm not too sure, but they're gonna go for Vine Lash here and kill my Groudon, but that's okay because we just brought in Groudon so we can incinerate the Zacian with the Max Flare and not have to deal with it. And now it is just the Venusaur versus my Yveltal. And I still have Kyogre alive, but I figure I shouldn't let Kyogre go down because Kyogre, you know, it's one of my favorite, you know, legendaries, believe it or not. As much as I don't like facing Kyogre, I really love it as a Pokemon. I just hate that it's so broken. I wish it was like Articuno, you know, where it isn't broken and it was like, I don't know. You know, Kyogre, it's just a guilty pleasure using it though. I'm using it in a pretty cute way. I'm not using it to spam Water Spout. I'm using it as like an Assault Vest bulky pivot. You know, I could Dynamax it if I wanted to, but I don't even think I Dynamaxed Kyogre once in this video.
Lies!
So, they were able to Airstream and knock out the Venusaur, and we're able to defeat our opponent with Dynamax Yveltal, and we kind of used 3 Ubers versus 2 Ubers, but they had a Sun team, so they deserve it. Not like I don't have a Sun team either, but it's different. Okay, it's different. Anyway, hopefully you all enjoyed that battle. We're not relying exclusively on the Jirachi gimmick, okay? We can spam legendaries and win too. So hopefully you all enjoyed that battle, and let's move on to the next one. Alrighty, my next opponent basically has a super stacked team. Like, they have Kyogre, Necrozma, Calyrex Ice, which is actually refreshing to see. I'm so sick of Calyrex Ghost, but Calyrex Ice is barely used. They also have Palkia, Magearna, and then Liepard. So overall, a very scary and menacing team. Let's just get into this battle against my opponent, who has a name I can't read. My opponents have very fiery trainer cards today. I noticed that. It's very orangey. But I got my trainer card, so we're actually in the Isla Armor Stadium, which doesn't have the annoying crowd cheering in the background, and it actually looks really nice with the weather effects. So they lead off with Magearna and the Liepard. I lead off with my Persian and Jirachi, because I decided to be greedy and try for the gimmick once again. So they're going to Dynamax turn 1, and I'm like, wow, what a surprise. They Dynamax turn 1 with their Magearna. I figured they would go for the Max Guard copycat since they Dynamax turn 1, but instead they just go for the Fake Out into my Jirachi to flinch me. They didn't go for Fake Out Trick Room, very surprisingly. I go for Fake Out into Magearna, expecting them to go for Fake Out Trick Room, right? But they don't go for that, so okay. They go for Max Starfall into my Alolan Persian, but because in this battle we are Focus Sash, we're able to survive. In the next battle, I actually changed the item because I was experimenting with a gimmick, an extra gimmick, which you'll have to wait for the last battle to see what that is. So yeah, I'm gonna go for the Starfall and bring me to my Focus Sash, and now my opponent's gonna go for Fake Tears into my Jirachi, and I'm like, oh, that is really scary because I go for Beat Up into my Jirachi to, of course, get the boosts from Weakness Policy. I don't get the speed boost because I don't currently have Rattled, so I'm actually just gonna skip the rest of the beat ups and just baton pass out. But yeah, I don't really care about the speed boost because I'm fighting a Trick Room team mostly, so yeah, I can just baton pass the boosts out and bring in a better legendary, which of course is the Daddy Groudon, here to carry my shitty gimmick team with that +2 attack and special attack. On the Magearna though, they go for Starfall, and I'm like, I'm at -2, this might just kill me, but they go for the 1 HP Persian because they want to kill the cat, because they're like, my cat's cuter than yours, and you know what, I'll take it. So you know, I don't know why they did that. I guess they just wanted the Soul Heart boost, which is fair, but like, I feel like that's a waste of a max move. But then again, not like Magearna can really touch Jirachi even at -2 special defense, because Jirachi's pretty bulky. Anyway, now I'm gonna max my Groudon, and I'm like, okay, I gotta kill this Magearna now. So I go for Helping Hand because I figure even if they go for Copycat, Max Guard, Trick Room, like I'll be fine because I'm max. But they go for Fake Tears, I'm at -4, and I'm like, okay, as long as I outfit Magearna, I'm fine. I can go for a +2 Max Quake, but then there's Shucka Berry, and I'm like,
Watch me eat.
No, because now it's gonna just phase tank this Max Quake, and then I'm gonna die to like a +4.
Watch me eat.
Oh, Magearna died through the Shucka Berry because Groudon is, Groudon is daddy. I'm sorry Incineroar has to take a back seat for today. Like, Incineroar's not going to be in Scarlet and Violet. We got to find a new love interest, you know what I mean? So down goes Magearna to the Max Quake, and Groudon is right here, +2 attack, full HP, and comes the Calyrex, but I'm at +2 attack. My Dynamax still intact. I have Friend Guard Clefairy with this Groudon. Like, this is such a scary combination. Maybe I should run Steel Spike with the Groudon just to make Clefairy more bulky as well. I don't know. I made this meme team in like 10 minutes. I didn't really test it too much because, Series 13 is dead, and, might as well just have some fun on the casual ladder. So they bring in Kyogre here, and I'm going to switch out my Clefairy. I don't know why. Why did I do this? I bring in Jirachi because I want to go for the potential skill swap Rock Slide stuff later on, so that's why I did that. Go for the Rock Fall. Right into the Calyrex Ice, because I figure at +2, it should knock it out unless it's like a defensive body press set, and we're able to one-shot the Calyrex Ice with the Max Rockfall, because Dynamax is so broken. A Rock Slide would have done absolutely nothing, but Max Rockfall, you're gone. You're gone. So down goes the Calyrex Ice, and yeah, this Groudon is just going to sweep my opponent. There's basically nothing they could do because they greeted their Dynamax really early on, and they kind of like misplayed it, to be honest. But it's the casual ladder. I'm not expecting too much. I just thought with their team the battle's going to be way harder than it actually was. So yeah, we're able to defeat my opponent. They forfeit because the Dynamax Groudon was too much for them to handle. Anyway, hopefully you all enjoyed that battle, and let's move on to the last battle. Okay, I saved the best battle for last. My last opponent, Adam, has a pretty cool team. They have Giratina Origin Form, which is cool to see. They have Zacian, Kyogre, Whimsicott, Incineroar, and Celesteela. So I like the Giratina, but the rest of the team makes you want to throw up. Except for Male Incineroar. Male Incineroar is hot. But yeah, let's get into this final battle against Adam, who has a basic bitch trainer card. Like, come on, Adam. You couldn't have styled your trainer card at all? Like, okay, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Not everyone wants to stylize their trainer card. Not everyone is gay like me, So,
Can you not be gay for 5 minutes?
Okay, anyway, they're gonna lead off with Incineroar and Zacian. As I lead off with my Persian and Jirachi. Wow, I lead off with this lead in like every battle because I want to go for the gimmick. That's right. So they get the, attack boost and the Intimidate. They're going to Intimidate my Jirachi and my Persian. But once again, the Rattled Speed Boost is going to come through, and now we're actually faster than Zacian. So that's really sexy. Persian, I'm going to go for the Fake Out into the Zacian instead of Incineroar this time around because I don't want to mess around with it. They go for Fake Out into the Persian because they are scared of it because, the Persian, they got the Rattled Speed Boost, so they were thinking it was going to be some demonic set. So I'm able to go for the Skill Swap into the Persian, and now I'm able to go for the Beat Up into the Zacian. I actually did this on purpose. This wasn't a misclick because I was experimenting with Serene Grace and King's Rock. So Serene Grace actually increases the King's Rock activation rate, so it's a 20% chance hitting for 4 times. So we're actually able to flinch the Zacian, go for a Doom Desire, decide its destiny. The Flare Blitz from the Daddy Incineroar going to burn us because we love fire from Daddy Incineroar, but we're going to activate our weakness policy. And now Jirachi's at +2 attack and special attack. Unfortunately, I don't think I can go for the beat up into my Jirachi to get the speed boost at this point. So instead, I actually decided to go for the body slam with the Serene Grace on the Persian. We're actually able to paralyze, we crit the Zacian, paralyze the Zacian, so Jirachi can outspeed and go for the baton pass. So that is phenomenal for us. The Serene Grace Persian is actually going in. And this is what I was talking about earlier when I said this Persian is a big threat that you should probably focus down because the King's Rock set is so funny. I had Focus Sash for the majority of the battles in this video, but I'm so glad I switched to the King's Rock because we flinch with Body Slam. It only hit 1 time, but because of 20%, we're able to flinch. Para-flinch the Zacian. Flare Blitz crit into Kyogre because, why not? But we're able to tank it with our Kyogre, and now I go for the beat up once again into the Zacian because I'm not letting the Zacian move at all. This Zacian is going to flinch over and over, though this time he only hit 3 times because our Jirachi is burned, unfortunately. But I'm going to go for the Scald into Daddy Incineroar, and Scald will knock out the Kyogre. My Kyogre is an Assault Vest set made to abuse Serene Grace, so I do have Scald so I can get 60% chance of burn. We do flinch Zacian once again, and now the Doom Desire is going to cast down and do nothing because Jirachi sucks. But you know what? We chose the Zacian's destiny, and its destiny is to get flinched to death. So now they're gonna Dynamax their Kyogre, because you know that's how they're gonna beat my Kyogre, is Dynamax their Kyogre, which is fair. I just go for, oh, they protect with their Zacian because they're so scared of this Persian. They're like, oh my god, please Zacian, gotta protect myself. I just go for Fake Tears though, because this Kyogre is a threat. I'm gonna Fake Tears, I'm gonna worry special defense a bit, and I'm gonna go for the Skull. I was trying to knock out the Zacian, but you know, they make a smart protect, and now they go for Max Lightning with the Kyogre, but because we're a Solid Vest, we're actually tanking it really well. We live at 69 HP again. Groudon lived at 69 HP, and now Kyogre lived at 69 HP. That's crazy. I didn't even notice that until narrating this video. That is really funny. Anyway, now I have to Dynamax my Kyogre, because even though I'm at half HP, I don't want to let all these boosts go to waste. So, yeah, and I figure I should level the Behemoth Blade from the Zacian, worst case scenario. So, go for the beat up into the Zacian once again, just because I gotta go for those flinchies, because the flinchies is so funny with the King's Rock. I'm sorry if y'all don't like the flinch hacks strats, but I figured that with Skill Swap Jirachi, it's refreshing. It's like different, you know what I mean? Like, this is a really funny Jirachi strategy. The Max Lightning's able to one-shot the Kyogre because of the electric terrain, plus a special attack, -2 special defense from Fake Tears. Goodbye, Kyogre. My cat is better than all the other cats in this video. It's true, it's true. Even though, like, I love Incineroar, but Alolan Persian kind of, like, ate Incineroar up in this video. Anyway, in comes the Celesteela, and now I just go for the beat up once again. Into the Zacian, I'm like, bitch, you are not allowed to move, and since this is the casual ladder, I'm just having fun. I'm laughing my ass off at this point. I should have, like, recorded my commentary live from recording this, but, you know, I don't really care to do that stuff. I should, but I don't. Go for Max Lightning into the Celesteela and just one-shot it, because, you know, you can't really take a +2 special attack Kyogre attack, can you, Celesteela? So down that thing goes, and now the Zacian is going to go for the play rough. But Kyogre is able to live because this Kyogre is actually a god. Like, this Dynamax Kyogre, like, I understand people Dynamax Kyogre all the time now. Like, this shit is so broken. But I'm going to continuously go for the beat-up flinches just because it's so funny. I just want to flinch the Zacian as much as possible to give it... To get back at all the trauma Zacian has put me through. I gotta get revenge at the end of Sword and Shield, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna go for Max Rockfall, just because I don't want to knock out the Zacian, but I'm a Solid Vest Kyogre, so like, all my attacks will kill it, besides Max Rockfall. And Max Rockfall is off Ancient Power, by the way. We do get another flinch with Beat Up, because of course we do. We're just having some fun, you know, and Rockfall will knock out my own Kyogre, so Kyogre gets what it deserves, and it gets knocked out. Even though I could have went for the Max Geyser and won the game, I gotta continuously torment the Zacian. So now I'm going to bring back in Jirachi, and now I'm going to go for another beat up into the Zacian, just because I want to go for the flinchies, right? Even though I only have 2 Pokemon left, I can actually go for the beat up, so it was actually not the best play. But now I go for Doom Desire with my Jirachi, open our eye once again, because I want the Zacian to die to Doom Desire. That would be the perfect ending to this hilarious battle. So Jirachi is going to get knocked out by Burn pretty soon, and I realized something, that I can maybe lose this battle because yeah, if I don't get like flinchies with beat up and they get like 3 Behemoth Blades, I might just lose. So but that would be so funny if I lost, because I definitely am disrespecting my opponent, so if I lose, I deserve it. So I go for the flinchies, I go for the 20 base power start power, but unfortunately I don't get the flinchies, and play rough. They finally get their revenge on Persian. They knocked me out, but honestly, Persian, you deserve a good rest after all that carrying. Like, to be honest with you, Persian definitely carried that shit super hard. But now in comes Clefairy, and Clefairy is going to redirect itself to death. Well, I don't even go for Follow Me. I just go for Sword Power again. I don't knock out the Zacian, and now they're going to go for Behemoth Blade, and my Jirachi's going to die from Burn, and my Clefairy is going to die to Behemoth Blade, and so we're actually going to lose because my Jirachi is dead from Burn, and yeah, down goes Clefairy, and yeah, except the Doom Desire is going to cast down from the heavens, knocking out the Zacian before Burn, and knocks out the Jirachi. And we're able to win. That should just be the end of Sword and Shield right there. Like, could you ask for a better ending than that? No, you can't. Leave a like for that. Comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Scarlet and Violet is right around the corner. Thank you so much for watching till the end of the video. Here is the rental code for those who are interested. I think I covered pretty much everything, so I'll just leave it there. Thank you so much for watching till the end of the video. I love you all very, very much, and I'll check you.